facts, your fears.
You know, I knew that a lot of elements of our government were funding radical Islam 20 years ago, but I couldn't believe they would actually turn the West over to it.
Your schedule, your desktop,
And
your details, your life.
then I realized it's just a bunch of elites that want control over society. So if a system is authoritarian and oppressive, they're going to support it. So I don't know all the answers. I just know that Trump is turning the economy back on. The numbers are exploding for small businesses and independent groups and poor people. That's in CNN today. So what are they going to do? I want to ask Dr. Jerome Corsi because, again, the average person doesn't think evil like this. And I have like a blind spot. I can't think like this. And then we see it happening. How is it going for the globalists? Seems like they're in trouble everywhere from the Netherlands to Spain to France to Brazil. I mean, Dr. Corsi, you've got all this news about this weird Wahhabist alliance with the former head of the CIA who admittedly converted to Islam. What were they thinking? What was the plan? And then how are they doing? Are we starting to beat them or what's going on?
Well, first of all, it's an alliance to bring down America and to bring, a global government. It's a revolutionary alliance. The far left, which comes out of, the communism, socialism, Saul Alinsky, wants revolution. They want to see fundamental government falling down, change. So any group like Islam that is opposed to the West, is opposed to the United States, opposed to democratic systems, is going to be a friend of the far left. And the far left plays demographic games by infiltrating the country with Muslims, infiltrating the country with illegal immigrants. The demographics are changed. So the control is lost and the social tensions rise. That's social, communism.
And they play off that tension.
They play that tension to create it. Now, the left is losing. You can see in the United States, Donald Trump's win, the win of Brexit. I think what's going to be a win for Le Pen, certainly in the first round. We're going to see all across the EU.
Wilders of the Netherlands, how are they going to respond to this?
Well, the left is going to go increasingly violent. The protests, and we were at the inauguration. These protesters are hard left. They're being trained.
They were beating women up, and they were attacking me. I mean,
it's a combination of Soros, and now you've got Barack Obama with his Organizing for America. We just had released this weekend a whole organizing manual. These protesters are being trained. They're being...
Oh, yeah, that's what Sekulow talked about. A 30,000 person deal with Obama saying overthrow it. And I've got it right here. Like you just mentioned, a manual on how to overthrow a training manual. Yeah, there it is. Out of the New York Post. Linked activists have a training manual for protesting and overthrowing Trump.
And even how to infiltrate these town hall meetings, where to sit, how to sit in groups, what signs to bring, how to disrupt the meetings. You're going to see, like you saw in Washington during the inauguration, violent protests, breaking windows, throwing rocks, people dressed in black.
And Trump knows that, so he's mobilizing the people to say mainstream media is your enemy. Well, they're sided with Soros and globalists to overthrow the country. That's just true. He's only saying what's true, which is so weird to see a president. Reagan was great, but I got to be honest, if Trump can keep in, I think he's going to be like way beyond Reagan. I mean, by himself, he's totally opposed. No one under him will do his agenda, but just by sheer force of will, he's dominating. I mean, I'm not in some cult of worshiping Trump, but of course, you know him 40 years. You met with him last year. I mean, Trump is amazing.
He's the real deal. I'm betting on Donald Trump. I've seen him do it over and over again. He'll change his whole organization if he needs to. He fired Lewandowski.
Oh, yeah, they're calling it loser that he'll fire a few people. That's what you're supposed to do.
No, that's what a CEO does. If you have to get rid of the whole organization, start over again. If they're not working for you, they want to work for themselves, they can go create their own company. And it's going to be the same in the federal government. Donald Trump will persist. If he has to shut down half of the bureaucracy or 3/4 of the bureaucracy, if he has to start in some of these agencies and fire by...
No, I agree, because why get them to go do the right thing? We should just replace it all. That's how we win. That's what they did.
And if they got civil service, reassign them to Nome, Alaska. Say, good, we can't fire you, so you report tomorrow in Nome, Alaska. That's where your new office is. Good luck. because you can reassign them, you can make them quit.
Well, Doc, come back on tomorrow. And soon we're going to launch more shows and be on more than just 4 hours a day because people want the demand. They need to hear it. But just what else is on your radar screen with your great work you're doing?
Well, I'm going to release a whole series of articles this week and show that it really was the Democrats who were being paid by Russia. We've got the...
By the way, 2 months ago when I was first hiring you, you told me all this, and I said, are you kidding? It's in the it's in the Washington Post. It's all over admitting that the Russians were funding the Washington Post and everything like you said.
Yeah, and the Washington and Podesta, we've got the he was getting stock from this company Jolie in
Well, how did you know that though? Because nobody else was saying that. That's in the news now.
It was in WikiLeaks, and I've also spent a career in international finance. I mean, I know how money laundering works. Remember, I caught HSBC money laundering. I was the one who blew the whistle, cost them $1.9 billion. I had 1,000 pages of records from John Cruz. I knew how they were laundering money. I brought down HSBC.
So explain me the double game. Russia claims it's on the side of Trump, but meanwhile they're funding the liberals. What?
No, it was all, and also Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton had pass-through accounts. She was getting money off the books from Russia. She was being paid for the uranium. Both Podesta and Hillary and the Democrats were transferring technology to Russia, and Russia was paying him handsomely. If Hillary had won, Russia would have been blackmailing the Democrats left and right because they have all.
And she knew that was her weak point, so she made it all about Trump.
That's what constantly, the far left, when they know they're vulnerable, when they know they're going to get caught, they blame you for doing what they did. Hillary knows we've got the data. I've been working on this now for 2 years.
Don't you agree that she and her deep state have gone after Trump? It's not vindictive, it's justice. Shouldn't he go after them now?
Well, he's got to go after them. Trump has no choice. I mean, Hillary Clinton's not going to go away. Barack Obama's going to sit in D.C. and cause trouble.
In his bunker. I say he wants a fight. Give him one.
Well, and let's go through the chapter and verse of how the Clinton Foundation was a money laundering scheme, how the Russians were using it as a money laundering scheme, and how Barack Obama knew it, because it has to be known by certainly by the NSA was knowing it. It was monitored.
So the Russians knew Trump would find out, so they hedged their bets being nice to him.
Well, the Russians basically wanted Hillary to win. I've said that from the very beginning. The Russians didn't intervene in this election. They weren't hacking the data.
Well, no, the Pope did, the Communist Chinese, the EU did.
Assange said that he got the data. I'm convinced Assange got the Podesta emails from within Podesta's own office.
Sure.
It was a Democrat that turned them all over.
Well, they shot him in the back. We know that. We'll do this. Come back on tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central. Let's talk about it. Let's flesh out where you think things are going. Dr. Jerome Corsi, Infowars.com. We should set up a Twitter account with Infowars as well. But what's the email with Infowars if folks want to send you a tweet or send you a tip?
We're setting that up. I mean, I'm still in the process. We'll get that set up this next week. But they can still email me at always my
That's right. It's Dr. C, DRC at Infowars.
Infowars.com. We just got that set up. I haven't even used it or checked it out.
We're going to get you set up. You're doing a great job. Dr. Corsi, thank you so much. Boy, you've been proven right. We're going to come back with Owen Schroyer in studio. It was there at the epic. It just gets better and better. Trump rally yesterday in Melbourne, Florida. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You going to sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you going to be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action. Today we call it bone broth, and for thousands of years our ancestors enjoyed its benefits before it became lost to our modern diets of processed junk. We are now introducing Caveman by InfoWarsLife.com, the ultimate in true paleo nutrition with bone broth, turmeric root, chaga mushroom, and 7 total primal superfoods in a single great tasting formula. Caveman It's those people living in the wilds having to actually build civilization that are our superior ancestors. And we need to do everything we can to recapture that. Everyone knew that you used all the parts of the animal. You used the meat for sustenance, the fat for cooking, but you used the bones for strength. From the outside structure full of minerals and key cofactors to the marrow that produces the blood for the body. This is the engine of the life essence. I'm a long way from the caveman my ancestors were, but I'm sure as hell trying to get back to that essence that made us what we were, and this is a big part of it. I know you're going to want to check out Caveman Ultimate Paleo Formula for yourself at InfoWarsLife.com today.